Sparkles and Shivs, it's the Con Mom Show. Stephanie
and Sarah. Hi everyone, you're watching Con Moms. I'm Sarah and
I'm Stephanie.
And we're your Con Mothers. So how was your guys' Thanksgiving? Hopefully y'all are okay. I had 2 back-to-back Thanksgivings. So I felt like I was rolling around for a while there. I was like, I never want to see another dessert again. But really I do though. But what about you?
It was really good. We drove down to see the wifey's family. We have it for the holidays. We do Thanksgiving with one family and Christmas with the other, and then we switch each year. So that way we have a major holiday with everybody every year. So it was Michaela's family's turn for Thanksgiving this year, and that was really nice. There was a nice sizable party outside at her great aunt's house. There was like a nice tent, Thanksgiving tamales. Well, it was like surprise tamales. There was just like a catering tray full of tamales, and all of the, like, there was at least like 4 or 5 different flavors, and you didn't know what you got until you grabbed one and bit into it. So it was magical.
It's like a blind date with tamale. You're like,
it was. And you know what? There's no such thing as a bad blind date with a tamale. Like, it just doesn't happen.
No.
So that was really fun. Her grandparents let us bring her animals, and our little 7.5-pound wobble cat terrorized for like 20-pound behemoths for a week. So
I love it.
At one point she chased one of the cat who our grandma has described as the bully, chased him around the house, and grandpa was like, wow, she looks like a Spider-Man. Yeah, so that all happened. That was fun.
Yeah, for me, I don't like cooking. It's not fun for me. I will clean anything. I will do that. I love cleaning. Cooking, I'm like, but this year I was like, okay, we're actually seeing people for actual Thanksgiving, you know, got our shots going out. So I was like, okay, I gotta cook. I want to do something fun. So I spent with my best friend's family, and I made Reese's cheesecakes, and they were super good, but they were super rich. And in addition to that, and then everyone else brought like pies and other yummy things. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
So good though. But yes, that was our Thanksgiving. So yeah, today we are discussing nerdy workflows, because, you know, we're getting to the end of the year. We have like 3.5 weeks. We're in December officially now. So I was thinking, because like part of what I've been thinking is like, hey, what are our workflows? What are our processes? How does that work going into the new year? Is there anything we'd like to change? So I figured I'd talk about cosplay photography, because that's my biggest workflow currently. Yeah, it's been a lot. I've been taking photos professionally for 8 years now, but I've been taking photos before that. And so I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, it's a lot of sorting. I mean, I technically sort as I go, but like figuring out my official workflow, you know, and realizing I have a lot of stuff that I don't need to be keeping, even if it's not something I use. Like, I'm just attached to things, even digital things. And it's basically where the point where I have like my life physically mostly in order. And now I'm feeling the pressure in the digital space. And I'm like, I gotta get this stuff sorted. There are too many files. I got too many drives. So that's what I've been. And it's just been a thing of like slowly deciding what that looks like for me. What about you? What is the thing you're on right now?
So I've been really into 2 things. D&D and cross stitching have been my nerdy outlet. Both of those not out of place, you know, 30 years ago. So that's great. You know, I am morphing into an old nerdy lady by the minute, and I love it. But as far as, you know, workflow for both, I definitely am the type of person to kind of like flit around and just be like, I'm just following the happy brain juices, and this is, we're going over here, and we're going over here. But I do try and like, establish kind of an order of operations if I can, as well as what I want out of a particular thing, be it a D&D session or be it a goal. Like right now I have my this homage to one of the best Christmas Carol adaptations, and I want to hang it in my house before the holidays are over. So there we go. We're goal setting. Goal setting, I think, is critical.
It's key, y'all. It's key.
It really is. It will help keep the motivation pumping. And there's like long-term and short-term goals. Like, I'm making a decoration, I'm making a gift for somebody, or for myself with D&D, I try and do goal setting as a dungeon master before every session. So things like, what do I personally, as the DM, because DMs are players too, want out of this session? What goals do I have? Our last session, we had a kind of split party, and I have been moving the split parties back closer and closer together. So I had a goal of, I'm getting the party, as much as I can, because ultimately the players are going to do what the players are going to do. But I am giving, one of my goals was to present the ability for the party to fully come back together. And we did accomplish that. Other times goal settings will be like, all right, we are all leveling up. We want to make sure that we accomplish that. I want to make sure that players are aware of new items, full abilities, or things like that, touching on anything that I feel like the players need to know, or that was kind of chatted about, things that players who missed a session may have missed. Our party all just leveled up, so our next session is definitely going to be on the goal setting to make sure that and they just completed a huge mission. So as a DM, I'm going to make sure that they know, okay, this is the 2 options for your completed mission. Do with that what you will. You're leveled up now, and you need to take a feat. This is what that means. That's what that looks like. So there's all of that kind of housekeeping that needs to be done. And yeah, so it's just definitely, when I write even a short little to-do list, or a short little like things to remember, even if it's not to do, things to remember as I'm starting a session or as I'm starting a project, it just makes my life a lot easier. And I find that it helps things run a lot smoother, regardless of unexpected, because D&D is always to expect the unexpected. Always.
It's an adventure.
No 100%. No matter what I prepare for various options my party will do, inevitably they will do the one I didn't prepare for because I didn't think about it every single flipping time. But I expect that. I just make sure that my goals aren't so rigid that I don't know how to react to it. I just, this is my wants. These are the things to be aware of. Do with that what you will, and make sure that everything is serving that higher purpose.
100%. I know, going back to to-do lists, that has helped me tremendously, because I am an excited bunny rabbit. The bunny trails in every single direction. If I don't have focus, it's like, I mean, I can't think of a better analogy currently, but like, it's like a pool. You have to get to the other end, but you can have fun splashing around, but eventually you're going to get tired and drown if you don't get to the other end. So you gotta keep swimming.
So
so I got pretty unicorn / mermaid stationery, because that's how I roll. Stationery, I am a sucker. So I write to-do lists, and I have been doing this for 3 weeks now, and it's actually 3 weeks at this point. It's actually been very helpful, because even if I can't complete everything, I mean, there hasn't been a day yet where I've gotten everything on the list, but like I get through most of it, and then I'm like, I have actually accomplished more this time
than
around
I think I did.
than I have, like, the entire time going, I have so many things, and literally helps me focus, and whatever I don't finish goes to the top of the priority for the next day. So
Mm-hmm.
the top of the list, and it's been very helpful, especially because I am working on releasing a photography school slash course thing for
Nice.
cosplay photographers, because everybody's at home right now, and I was like, or people that want to be cosplay photographers. So I've been working on that, and I'm like, okay. And going through that process and all things that go into that, I'm like, yeah, I have not been as organized slash workflowy as I thought. It's a thing of like work smarter, not harder. I'm like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
working harder when I could literally automate and make these things so much faster. So yeah, going through all that, I'm like, so many shiny things, but I have to focus.
Mm-hmm. And ultimately too, I think it goes back to setting the workflow and experimenting with workflow that works best for the way that your brain processes information and tasks.
Yeah.
Like, for me, sometimes it's best to like simplify my personal goals. So then I don't spend so much time thinking about the steps and overthinking it.
Yeah.
Or to like I was saying with D&D is I need to allow myself some flexibility, which is why I put things just like big overarching goals that I want out of D&D, both in the long term and for particular sessions. So things to remember. Sometimes the to do just gets labeled as things to remember.
Yeah.
And sometimes those goals are very broad and need to be adjusted. Or just things like, for example, I've been kind of house cleaning because I've been on vacation, and which means I get to catch up on things. And sometimes I work better if I am physically restricted from flitting around and getting distracted from room to room. So I will lock
Yeah.
myself in one room and not leave. And then when I can leave, then my brain can wander around and be happy. Or sometimes there are days when it's just like, you know what? My goal is just going to be to clean up clutter and just throw stuff away that needs to and clear up some doom boxes. Like
100%.
where they are doesn't matter. If it doesn't look like a room really has changed that much, doesn't matter. I can look at the recycling bin and know how much has gone out. And if that's what feeds the happy brain for accomplishing things, because the broad general goal was just to do a little bit tidying up. Did I do a little bit of tidying up? Yes. Okay. Then just let it take the form that it's going to take. And I think that just goes into workflow in general, is just work with your brain, not against it, because that's going to help prevent things like blockage. That's going to help prevent burnout. Let your brain tell your brain is a body part. Let you listen to your body and let it tell you the process that's going to work best for you at that particular time.
Yeah. And also, like, one of the things I'd learned too is like the first few days or week, really, like I beat myself up because I didn't finish everything on the list. And I'm like, life is a constant list. You keep adding to it. You just get through what you can each day. And it's very helpful. Like it's pretty good. Yeah. It's interesting to be faced with that. And then like another thing I've had to deal with is I went from being in an office and around people 24/7, and now I'm constantly home 24/7. And so now working remotely, like it's so easy. Like I need to do this more, but like I make myself like physically like get completely dressed, put on makeup, like I'm actually in work mode. It's helping me differentiate between like I'm home versus working. And then I created down here, I have a separate home office now, so I don't like be tempted to never leave my bed ever. So like I can totally work on my phone. Get out. Go downstairs.
Yeah.
Actually act like you're doing something. Yeah, no, and it's hard because you get I know like right now, remote life, it's adjustment. Like we like it. And I've dreamed about it for so long. And now like that I finally have it 24/7. I'm like, this is great. I love this. But it's also comes with its own new sets of challenges because no one's there to tell you no. You have to tell yourself no. So it's interesting when you have to be the person that give you like, yeah, it's good. You set healthy boundaries with yourself, and that is also important.
Yes, that is the other thing. Boundaries are really important because it's that separation, but that's more of like work, not so much hobbies. Like when it's hobby time, then I'm just like, I'm following the serotonin. And when the serotonin is out, my brain needs a break, we take a break. Like I can clock out of my hobby whenever I want
True.
to. And sometimes you need to. So it's just, yeah.
Like me on the Xbox for many hours. I'm like, okay, you have done your set amount of hours. You may now put it down and do something else. Go read a book.
The other thing that helps me as far as workflow is ironically having multiple projects at one time.
Yeah.
Because then it lets me kind of adjust, you know, what is my brain in the mood for? Because prepping and doing like D&D work for me, it's a lot of tables, a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of laying out notes and things like that. I need to be in a very active headspace. I need to be able to focus on a lot of things at once, and just be in that like world building creative zone, or just, you know, in a zone to do a ton of freaking spreadsheets. Whereas, you know, cross stitching or things like that, that's much more of, because I work a lot mostly off of patterns, and that is a lot more relaxing. It's repetitive motion. It's just referencing a pattern that I reviewed. I know how to read it. I have a set amount of colors. Everything is very set and defined, and straightforward. So if I'm in it, I want to feel creative, but I also just don't have that more active brain. I can do switch gears into something like that. And sometimes it might be like, okay, well, I want to do a little something for the satisfaction of finishing something.
Yes.
Which means I do the little project. If I want to feel the satisfaction of like, yeah, we're doing something big and impressive, we whip out the big impressive project. So there's just having those multiple things that you can go to at any time lets your brain both relax, and be stimulated at the same time. Again, it's just working with what your brain is telling you it wants and still getting things done.
Yeah. Serotonin and endorphins are your friend.
I forget
they work in harmony,
but I chase them around constantly going, please come back. I need you.
I promise.
I love you. Please.
Talk to me.
Please. Yes.
So what are your guys's? We like to know, because we're about to the end here. What are your guys's things that you do for your workflow? Please let us know below. I always like to read those things, and I'm curious because I know what we do is not necessarily what you do. So tune in for us next time. We're going to take a little break and be back a little bit before Christmas, but then we will be back in the new year. But yes, thank you as always for listening. I am Sarah, and
I'm Stephanie.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.